Consumption has increased by between 30 and 50% in most countries. This, of course, includes South Africa. We're probably more than that. With a spike, more people say they actually regret it. This is according to researchers from the Global Drug Survey 2020. Over 100,000 participants around the world were polled on this. Chairperson of the South African Drug Policy Initiative, Dr. Keith Scott, is here to discuss this with us. Keith, that's not impressive, is it? Up by 30 to 50%.
Yeah, that's quite horrific considering the damage that alcohol does to people's health and society in general.
Yeah, tell us more about that damage linked to this dramatic increase.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Tell us more about the damage that is done to our bodies by drinking so much more.
Well, alcohol, as opposed for personal health, it can cause 7 different types of common cancers. I won't list them all. It can cause cirrhosis of the liver, pancreatitis, and cause osteoporosis. It can cause heart disease. And obviously the acute effects, it can kill you if you drink too much, and it can cause psychosis and other mental disorders. So, yeah, it has a lot of impacts there. And obviously it incites violence. It can make violence worse and traffic accidents. So it is a problem. And I think it kills around about 3 million people a year. That's just from disease as opposed to violence.
And I'm sure it doesn't help the mental state that many South Africans or many people around the world find themselves in, and the depression linked to lockdowns.
Yes, exactly. And often people use alcohol to self-medicate quite incorrectly. They use it to help them sleep, but it disturbs the sleep rhythms. It helps them to, if they're feeling rough, even after, they have hair of the dog that bit them, they have some alcohol, but then it makes them anxious with their hangovers, etc. So, in lockdown too, I assume, I don't know the statistics, and in fact that's, I might point out that this global drug survey this year is actually aimed at people's consumption of alcohol during lockdown and their behavior during lockdown, because if we understand how people behave towards alcohol, how they use it, and the influences on their drinking, then we can actually help people more. So we'd like people to log on to the globaldrugsurvey.com, complete the questionnaire, because then we can give more accurate information. But certainly that's what we're interested in, finding out what happened during lockdown. And
you also found that people regret this growing consumption. What's behind the regret?
Well, it's very interesting because I would say probably around about 40% of people regret drinking too much the night before. They don't regret actually drinking. And the reason they regret mostly, we know it's a hangover, but sometimes they feel they said something they shouldn't have, and obviously part of the hangover makes them anxious the next day. They might have ended up in argument, and they forgot to do things, etc. So we know how adversely it can affect them.
And Keith, briefly, there is help out there if people feel they need it.
No, exactly, and that's why this survey is important, because if we know why people drink, and especially the fact that they do regret it, so they want help, they want advice, they want to be educated, and the influences that make people drink too much are interesting, because people say that the main thing that made them get drunk was they drank too quickly, and they drank a lot before they went out, and they drank again. The other thing was mixing their drinks, mixing alcohol with other drugs is an important one. And the other one is the social aspect. If you're the people who drink a lot, you're going to drink more. So those are some of the facts, the points that came out.
Interesting, Keith Scott. Thank you.